Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Space Quest 3, or Space Quest 2 actually. You feel the ship bank. We've just taken off from Vohaul's mining labor camp on the planet Labion. I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere. And he's commandeered our shuttlecraft and is taking us back to our apparent destination of Vohaul's asteroid. Darn remote control. If Roger would have had the firewall turned on, he wouldn't be in this mess. The massive bay doors meet, jarring the entire vehicle bay. As you step down, the shuttle door slams shut behind you. Okay, I guess we're not going back out that way. You are quite surprised not to find several of Vohaul's guards waiting to greet you. You begin to ponder what the twisted scientist might have in store for you. Well, for one thing, there's going to be a save game. The door behind you closes solidly. A barrier springs up before you. Another barrier stands in your way. You feel the floor shift below you. It's moving to the left. I expected that wouldn't work. The floor is moving. Beneath it, what you guess to be, or beneath it is what you guess to be a pool of highly lethal liquid. Imagine, if you will, taking a bath in sulfuric acid and using pumice for a washcloth. After that bit of displeasure passes, it gets much worse as the acid slowly eats its way to the last critical organs. Finally, mercifully, death takes you. Another senseless tragedy. You can help prevent this. Vote yes on lobotomies for adventure game designers. Thank you for playing Space Quest 2, Roger Wilco. You've been most entertaining. Okay, let's not go that way. Just yet. You're no Buddy Ebsen. It's a short step to the end of the game for you. I know Buddy Ebsen was the Beverly Hillbillies guy and also was supposed to be on Wizard of Oz. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. The panel has a vertical row of 4 buttons. There is some small engraving at the bottom edge of the panel. The buttons look ordinary. Each button has a word next to it. In order, they are 1, 3, 4, and 5. And to do this, I think you just type the letter you want to go to. Type the word of the floor you want to go to. You're glad no one saw that. The digital readout shows the number 1. The trick here is to press the number of a floor other than this one, otherwise it's no fun. Hey, wake up, there's no button 2. That is a floor polishing robot. You have the funny feeling you're being watched. There's a camera. There's a surveillance camera mounted on the ceiling. It looks to be quite basic. It appears to be pointing right at you. No breakthroughs in interior design to report. It's just one of the many tube-like sections of this custom asteroid. Except for some small windows, this area is much like all the other interior sections of the asteroid. There's a door in the sidewall. It looks like you've been formally introduced to the floor waxer. You now consist of a very thin yet glossy floor covering. Too bad, you seem to be making some relatively good progress. So I guess we want to avoid that floor waxer. You have the funny feeling you're being watched. There's a camera again. And both of the doors lead into the same restroom. You have stepped into a porcelain palace of sorts. It's obviously a restroom, a place which, in an interesting fashion, serves to exhibit the physical diversity of the universe. The walls are covered in an easy-to-hose-down synthetic material. Attached to them, in various locations, are devices designed to efficiently collect waste products from the life forms which are able to physically match up to them. On the back wall are stalls. 3 of them are in use, judging by the various feet which show beneath the stall doors. To the left are sinks. You settle your uniform pants down and settle onto the cool ring. You go through whatever motions might be normal for you during this act. Refreshed, you grab your pants and compose yourself. We're going to steal the toilet paper. And there is graffiti etched on the wall in various languages. One large message reads, Vohaul's mother wears Stellar Patrol boots. Here I sit lonely-hearted, had to bolt, but only darted. Here, same message. For a good time, call Jerry. Ask for Leonard. Vohaul sucks. For a good time, call the Helmet Master. Ken was here. So was Al, but we had to repaint afterward. Probably Ken Williams and Al Lowe. Sir Graham cross-dresses. Vohaul plays text adventures. You're right, Artie. Sierra is an alien outpost, and it certainly puts to rest some myths regarding superior life forms. Came in here to unleash a beast just to find my coal increased. Alright. The faucets aren't operational. Vohaul didn't seem big on personal hygiene. Okay, there's something we can do here later. We don't have all the stuff we need. It's probably in that closet we couldn't get into on 3. Unless it's right here. Aha! You know a janitorial closet when you smell one. Almost at once you sense an emptiness, a melancholy longing. You begin to feel homesick. It's quite dark in here. On the floor you notice a glass cutter. It's dark. No, you don't, because we took that already. Okay, let me get my book out here. This is the official guide to Roger Wilco's Space Adventures that I mentioned in the previous episode, just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. The only thing on 4 is the toilet paper and the glass cutter. We need to go up to 5 and then to 3 to get the remaining items here. This section of hall dead ends. There's an elevator on the back wall and a camera attached to the ceiling. Alright. There's some fun to be had on 5, if I remember correctly. Yep. Oh no, one of the cells is opening. Who knows what unspeakable horror waits beyond those steel bars. And this is one of Sierra's screw you moments. Because if you let that thing catch you, youch, you feel alarmingly dense. Apparently you are a prime focal point for some aggression channeling by one of the caged creatures. Your compressed composition indicates that your attacker possesses considerable strength, a good guy to avoid in the future. Well, that was a mistake. Oops, I've got junk piled up in front of my recording clock, so I don't know how long I've been going. Let's see what happens here. Oh, yuck. The dark and spiny beast with massive red lips grabs you and after a longing glance proceeds, don't read further if the phrase French kiss bothers you, to plant a very moist French kiss on you. You are left quite stunned. And this is a jerk move on Sierra's part. This is a time delay, unwinnable sequence, because right as you get to the end of the game, if you've ever seen the movie Alien, where the thing pops out of the guy's chest, that happens to you at the very end of the game. So we probably don't want that to catch us. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to lure it out of its cage, get into the elevator, and then once I'm on the elevator, it should disappear for good. There's something on 3 that we didn't get earlier because of the floor waxer. So hopefully, darn it. And now it's gone. Crap. Now it's coming the other direction. It's quite dark in here. You do find a plunger, however. Okay. Alright, so we have a plunger. Actually, if I go up the other direction. If I can. It's quite dark in here. There's a small wastebasket. On the floor next to it is a pair of crusty work overalls. Aren't you amazed by how much stuff an adventure game hero can carry? You've just got to know how to pack. Are they overalls or coveralls? You pick up the overalls. They are very small and quite worn out, not to mention filthy, and of no use to you. You toss them back onto the floor. As you set them down, something falls to the floor. You see some filthy overalls and a lighter. Alright, and I think we have everything we need for this section of the game. We'll not tempt Gargantuan there to smash us into the floor. Alright. Actually, where's the bathroom? The bathroom was on... The bathroom was on... 4. Well, Roger Wilco, I guess you'll be paying methane a little more respect in the future. If Mr. Science were here, he would have explained that open flame and high concentration of methane gas don't mix. Since you're dead, you'd best get to restoring. The plus side is that we did stop Vohaul because, well, he's exploded too. Nice thing about this style of parser is that you can pre-type your commands well in advance of you getting there. Now we have some more toys that we can possibly use to get around this trap down here. I'm going to save right here so I don't have to come back. Go very far if I screw this up. The door behind you closes solidly. A barrier springs up. Another barrier stands in the way. You feel the floor shift below you. It's moving to the left. So we're going to use the plunger and stick it on the wall, which is going to give Roger something to hold on to. Let's see just how picky the parser wants to be with this. Using formerly uncharacteristic creativity, you apply the suction cup-like plunger to the smooth metal finish and hang on for dear life. Once janitor, always janitor. If you do that too early, the grip breaks and he falls in anyway. There we go. You release your grip and drop back down. And it reopens. All right. But we're not done. We're not out of the woods yet. You're in an attractive tube-shaped region of the asteroid. The ceiling looks ordinary, except for some fixtures that look like sprinklers. This can't possibly end well. You have made the mistake of getting within what looks to be a cattle prod's length of the metal menace. An electrical contact connected to an extension arm reaches from its body and makes contact with you. That's when you begin feeling the intense bursts of electrical current pulsing through your body. You quickly black out. As you can see, you amount to a little more than a hill of laser-fried beans. You've come a long way only to be torched. Keep up the fine work. Alright, so that's obviously not what we want to do. But there are fire sprinklers on the ceiling. We have toilet paper and a lighter. So if we put the toilet paper in the waste basket, the parser doesn't let us screw this up too horribly. While receiving a nice hosing yourself, the basket fire is extinguished. Seconds later, a loud series of pops is followed by the smell of fried electronics. The sprinklers sense accomplishment and cease operation. And now we can walk this way with impunity. Your fire and subsequent shower seem to have shorted out the burnished bullies. I don't need to mention, I hope I don't need to mention, that that's not the way fire sprinklers work in real life. It's only the one heated up by the fire triggers, and there's no automatic off. You have just entered Vohaul's secret chamber. The evil one himself is seated before a large console high on a platform in the center of the room. Standing obliviously ready are many of the dreaded salesman clones. So, Roger Wilco, we meet again. I must say I'm quite impressed with your resourcefulness and tenacity. I'd love to chat, but I'm busy preparing the last of my salesman clones for the trip to Xenon. Feel free to stick around and observe the downfall of your civilization. Ha ha ha. Alright. So, the obvious thing to do is to go up there and get rid of Vohaul. Going somewhere? Ha ha ha. As soon as you step onto the platform, you are struck by a beam of light emitted from a unit in the ceiling. In a matter of seconds, you are broken down into microparticles and extracted from the air. Again, the beam strikes, this time blasting into a glass jar on the console. It is there that you are molecularly reconstituted in a miniaturized form. Well, I'll be darned, my miniaturization beam does work, Vohaul's voice booms, missing apostrophe. In the old days, I'd test these things on myself, but as you may have noticed by my appearance, being my own guinea pig has had its disadvantages. I guess this will keep you out of my way once and for all. You'll make a nice conversation piece. With that, Vohaul turns away to put finishing touches on Xenon's fate. Alright, what can we possibly use here? A glass cutter. The newly cut pane of glass falls to the counter. Apparently Vohaul doesn't notice. Alright. You wiggle your slim carcass through the vent. Judging from those two hoses coming in from outside, you guess that this is the inner workings of Vohaul's life support system. A respirator pumps oxygen back into his lungs, while the pump on the back wall forces blood through filters. There's also a sign on the back wall. Caution, press button for emergency shutoff. I think the button is behind the bellows there. Way to go, Roger Wilco. You've just disconnected Vohaul's life support system. He's a goner without it. You can see Vohaul struggling to take his last few breaths. Not you again. You think you've won, he wheezes. But all you've done is to seal your own fate. He reaches up and flips a switch on the far end of the console before dropping to the floor, dead. Alright, so this is the shrinker and larger control panel. We've just told it to re-enlarge ourselves. We go back into the bell jar. And it's going to reconstitute Roger back to normal size. You notice the clones are gone, though. General status, orbit decaying, prognosis terminal. Interior environment, okay. Alright, so I forget exactly where you're supposed to read this. But, I happen to know that since the timer was counting. An examination of his repulsively turgid, fabric-encased mask reveals nothing other than the tubes which supplied him with blood and oxygen. You do notice the letters SHSR written in pen on the back of his left hand. Okay. SHSR has an interesting meaning. If you remember from, if you've ever seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, the machine's name was HAL. If you take the next letter after each of those in the alphabet, H becomes I, you get IBM. If you do the same thing here, well, try it at home. That combination also actually works. I suspect
How low is involved with that?
Alright. This is why you save your game frequently. And we're in an outside tube here. You open the box and noticing an oxygen mask, remove it and close the box. All right. Now we are ready to blow this popsicle stand before it does that itself. A section of the glass tubing has fractured from combined stress. The pressurized atmosphere rushes for the relative vacuum of space. Due to the effect of the air rushing by you to get out of the hole, the air in your lungs is sucked out and you find it impossible to get more. Hence you struggle but die. You only had 225 points anyway, no big loss. And this is why you save your game in multiple places. In case you accidentally save right as doom happens. That'll probably screw me over in a bit anyway, but fortunately, wearing the mask protects you from suffocation. You no longer needing the mask, you remove it and stow it for later. Do we have an escape pod? Alright, this part is basically going to be evading that robot there. I'm going to kick up to fastest mode to clear distance quickly. Any curiosity you may have harbored regarding the menacing metallic pest will now be satisfied as you have drawn too close. Your attention is attracted to a decal on the front of the machine. It says the Vohaul Marrow-Matic. This rouses your curiosity. Suddenly you notice that each and every bone in your body feels as though it has been transformed into molten matter. Never slow to catch on, you notice that you are cooking from the inside out. Now that is a pain that lingers. Every drop of moisture is purged from your system by the intense heat of the internal barbecue. Your dehydrated composition makes it impossible to continue. Better luck next time, Roger Wilco. Alright, this isn't going well, and we've run over, so we'll pause here and come back next time for more Space Quest 2.